Okay, give me a mic check right now. It looks like yours is working. Bill, you're going to be talking to me right here.
Okay, check one.
And
then check two.
To TJ.
And check, and I'm talking, and I'm talking, and I'm arguing, and I'm arguing, and Bill's wrong.
Hello and welcome to the Invincible podcast, probably the best superhero podcast in the universe. This is a show where friends get to sit around and talk all things Invincible, a comic book by Robert Kirkman, Corey Walker, and Ryan Ottley. I'm one of your hosts, Ryan, and joining me today is Bill.
Hi, everyone.
And TJ.
Oh, hello.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
This is our first episode of 2020.
Ooh.
And we were recording on January 1st.
Yeah, New Year's Day.
Did you guys have a great holiday?
Yeah, I did. I have children, so it's different.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, well, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Holidays are holidays, not once you get to a certain age, I guess.
Yeah. We're going to this episode. I'm going to call it "Looking Back at 2019" because we did one of these exactly 1 year ago on January 1st, 2019.
We recorded
on January
Wow.
1st, and we're going to listen to some clips because we made predictions and said we wanted to time travel. So we're going to listen to some predictions that we made for 2019 and make some for 2020. A little bit of housekeeping here before we get into it. You can email us if you want to be a part of the show at theinvinciblepodcast@gmail.com. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify. You can check out our website at theinvinciblepodcast.com. We are also the guys that do the Oblivion Song podcast, another Robert Kirkman book, and the newest episode of that will be live next Friday. It releases
January 10th. The newest issue comes out 2 days before that on January 8th.
Yep, we always release an episode every Friday after the newest issue. That does it.
for housekeeping.
That's it for
Okay,
housekeeping.
bye.
Okay, bye. No. A couple things I want to go over. We got an email from Luke. He actually emailed us a little a couple months ago, and I just kept forgetting to bring it up on the podcast because I suck. He says, I just realized you and wait, hold on. Your latest episode was great. It's always nice to hear the latest news about Invincible. I really enjoyed hearing your chat with Kelsey. This was Kelsey from Let's Talk Invincible.
Yep.
I have never thought to ask a fellow fan if they have ever met Ottley or Kirkman, or what would you have Ryan draw for you? It's always refreshing to hear what other Invincible fans have to say. As I mentioned before, your podcast does a great job of bringing us all together. And he says, best, Luke from LA. And he says, oh yeah, I almost forgot to mention, my Ryan Ottley inspiration story. Back in 2008, Ryan released his 24-hour comic Death Grub. I always remembered it and thought one day I will take the 24-hour comic challenge. Well, 2019 was that year. I participated in the 24-hour comic challenge at the Comic Bug in Manhattan Beach, California. It was a blast, and I would definitely do it again. I laid out 24 pages in pencil, but came up 9 pages short once I started inking them. I guess it gives me something to work towards. Anyway, Ryan was my inspiration to do the challenge, so the next time I see him, I'll have to thank him. I'll be sure to send a copy once I get these pages scanned. If you are curious, I think 40 people started, and 10 to 12 of us were left when the final whistle blew at 12 noon on Sunday. And here's some pictures he sent us from it. So this is him drawing it. And here's a scan from one of the pages.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Wow. For rushing through it as much as possible. How many pages did he get through?
He laid out 24. So he did pencils on 24 and inked all of them but 9.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you have to finish it? Is that like
That's the goal,
Is
to finish it.
I have that comic by Ryan Ottley. I have it signed by him.
Yeah, so did I. I actually got one earlier this year because I had never had one.
It's so weird.
He said it killed him
Really?
to do that in 24 hours. He said it was insane.
Huh.
Said it was really tough.
Can't imagine. He also said in another email after I replied to that one, he said, I know it's not Invincible news, but it is part of the Kirkman universe. Did you pick up a printed copy of Brian K. Vaughan, The Walking Dead, The Alien? I forgot about it, but was pleasantly surprised when I got my polls, and there it was. I always love the story. It's nice to have it in print. You guys recently, Bill,
That's
you recently
weird.
read that.
That's weird that he mentioned that.
I read that
Yeah,
digitally years
yeah,
ago.
you and
And
I read that a long time
I read it
ago.
for the first time the last time we did Oblivion Song podcast. So last month I read it for the first time.
Yep.
You read my
And it was
copy.
and it was really good.
It's like shockingly,
It was like
really good.
super like. What's weird is that it was Brian K. Vaughan,
Mm-hmm.
and it didn't seem like Brian K. Vaughan. It seemed like Kirkman. Like it was a Kirkman-esque twist at the end, and like it felt like good old Kirkman, like at his best, and it was really really good.
Yeah.
It adds, in just the short issue that it is, it adds a lot to the Walking Dead universe.
I couldn't believe how much like I wanted it to not
end.
Yeah.
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 I remember you turned the page and it was like a shocking thing, and you're like just so good. Luke,
You could also read it if you are not up on The Walking Dead.
that's right. Yeah, you really don't need to.
Kind of its own thing.
Luke ends by saying, also, my wife and I were at Griffith Park, a large urban park in LA. Our kid was running around and playing. I looked to my left, and there was Mr. Stephen Yun. I attempted to do my best Rick Grimes impression and yell out, Carl! And then I turned to Stephen and asked him, have you seen Carl? Said, best Luke. He said that, he actually said later that it's not the first time he's seen him. He must live in the area.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow, that's
Can
cool.
you imagine, like,
Just
would you
walking
be,
into him?
if you saw Stephen Yeun at a park, like with his family, it'd be really hard.
I wouldn't I don't think that
You think
I
you'd
would
be able
go
to
up
not
and
say anything?
Say anything, but in a forum like Comic-Con, you know what I mean, where everyone's there. I think
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, if you're, I think, a celebrity and you're going to a public place like that,
you'd have to expect.
You kind of expect it.
right?
But
I would
yeah,
say something in passing.
You think so?
Well, I
don't
would
think-
say
I don't
would
think it would
say
be about The
something,
Walking Dead,
but
though.
but I wouldn't
It would be
like,
about him being the voice of Mark Grayson.
Yeah.
Looking forward to the new animated
It'd be
series.
like walking,
Later.
That's it,
like
yeah.
walking past. Be like, I look forward to the series, or you as Mark, like just keep walking. Like,
Yep, exactly.
that'd
I wouldn't be able
crazy.
to not say something, though. I'd have to say something.
I know. I feel
Just
like
in
I'd have
passing,
to.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe if
Ryan, you would fucking walk up to him and be like, "So I do this like podcast. You should be on the podcast."
I would be terrified. I would. There's no way I would be able to do that.
no.
All right, so we've got some news. First thing, I'm going to start with the smallest things first, and then we'll get to the biggest thing.
There is a couple things to talk
Yeah,
about.
right? Obviously, there was another Felix art comic drop. Yeah, they call them drops. We know that Kelsey, we just mentioned her over from the Let's Talk Invincible account, got a page. Congrats to everyone that got them. It was, I want to say one of the issues was one of the ones we're reading today. It was kind of that upper 90s
thought it was
range.
like in
It was
the
like
70s.
97 or something. There was a couple issues. There was like one in the 70s and one in the 90s.
And then there was like 120. There was like a couple pages from like.
It was really
120 or
random. Like
something.
normally
Yeah,
I
there
feel
were
like he
random
does
pages.
solid issues.
Yeah.
This one was just like, he also recently announced, and I don't know if this is old or what, but didn't he recently announce that all of
133.
133 was sold
Yeah.
as a full issue?
The full set.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
So no one else will ever be able to have a page from 133, the first issue of the end of all
the
things.
entire issue sold to one person.
To one person.
Wow.
Yeah, they'll do that. He'll like say, like, I'm assuming they strike a deal where you get a little bit of a discount by buying the whole thing in
Right.
one collection. A cool thing we'll probably mention on Oblivion Song, Lorenzo did the Skybound's Christmas card.
I saw that.
Yeah.
It's really
That's
cool.
really,
looking.
Really
Yeah.
good.
I love it.
Wasn't was Super Dinosaur in it?
Yeah,
He
was
like
prominent.
stood out.
Yeah.
Like that's what I remember seeing the most
Speaking of, I completely forgot to mention this. Like the last one or two times we recorded, they released the second half
We talked
of
about
the
it.
season.
Yeah.
Did
Yeah,
we?
we talked about it.
I
Yeah, we
haven't
talked about
watched it yet. I've been meaning to watch it, and I
I think we talked
finished.
about it on the last episode.
Did we? Okay.
Yeah.
I still haven't watched it. I finished season 1 back when it first came out after we got back from New York, and it had a very satisfying Kirkman-esque ending. So I'm excited to watch the second half. And then was there anything else other than the thing, TJ? Because
What's
I only
the
got one more thing. Do you know about this, Bill?
No.
Yes, he does.
Okay.
Do I?
There is a new issue of Invincible coming out in 2020.
I don't know about this.
It's a reprint of the first issue
Oh.
for Free Comic Book Day.
Oh, okay. I didn't
Yeah.
know about that. But
I thought we talked about it.
No? So yeah, so the first issue of Invincible has never been released as a Free Comic Book Day thing. So in April, is it, TJ? I believe it's April.
Something like that. Because I thought it was weird. It's before San Diego Comic-Con. I thought it was weird that they were releasing it. Why not just like wait for like the animated series to come out and like get people?
Well, because
help
Free
get
Comic Book
people
Day is
into it.
at a set day.
Yeah,
yeah, and probably because they're going to
but they've
have
done.
some sort of announcement
Do you think they're going to use it as marketing?
Probably. Could you imagine, like, in the back of it?
Yeah, I can. That's exactly what I expect. Or we also don't know what the cover is. I'm assuming it's going to be the original cover, like just with Free Comic Book Day on the top.
Not?
But what if it's
redesigned,
the cover
animated,
in the animated style?
Oh my god.
That would be cool.
How cool would that be?
This is just us dreaming. This is
this is what we do.
I doubt that's the case.
This is what we do. It's probably just going to be the original
We get
cover.
everyone really excited for this fucking alternate reality.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
But come on.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously they're releasing it this year for a reason. Right?
Yeah, why would they? Yeah.
You don't think so, TJ?
It ended 2 years
mean,
ago.
Yeah. So what? So what are you saying? That they should have released it 1 year ago?
Yeah. What?
2 years, I think, is almost like. No, I think that's if they're gonna like redo it.
Invincible means
like
nothing
2
right now.
years is about.
But what do you mean if they're going to redo it?
Not redo it, but like if you're gonna re-release it, like on a Free Comic Book Day, it's been gone for 2 years. That's not a lot of time.
You don't think it has anything to do with them kind of building the brand
I think
up?
it could.
Oh, okay.
But no.
Really?
Why would that? I think first of all, it absolutely
do you think it does?
I
Yeah,
100%. I don't think if they think that okay, that we've got an animated series, we've got a movie coming out, we have this brand that we want to, start to, build up and get in the mainstream, like
that
talk
I
about
totally
more,
agree with.
Then let's specifically say this is the year, because why not do it in 2019 or 2021?
No. We're on the same page when it comes to that. I agree that the reason why they're doing it is because there's things coming up for Invincible, but I don't agree that there's going to be like a preview or you know what I mean. Like it's possible, but I don't.
My expectation, like obviously, I dream big, but my legit, honest expectation is in the back, just a blue page, the Invincible logo, and underneath that, animated series coming soon to Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Like no new graphics, no new anything, just a blank thing. Mm-hmm. And I think that's
kind of what I want.
I think that's the bare minimum that we'll get.
I think that's
all I want. Just the logo. Just give me the logo.
No, I mean this logo. Not even a new logo. I can see them just doing the bare minimum.
I think they would be the new logo. If they're going to put the logo in there, it's going to be the logo.
I hope, but I'm setting my expectations, dude.
I think that they would. It's not crazy, and I think that they probably will. If they're going to do that, I think that they would just put that on the cover.
God.
I think that would just soon to be Amazon animated show coming this.
Just to kind of start showing people like.
I wouldn't doubt that that's a possibility.
Right? Like
just
bottom
saying,
corner,
like
upper
bottom
right,
corner,
somewhere.
real small.
Oh, you mean not
soon
the,
to be an animated series on
not
Prime.
in the art style.
No.
No,
okay.
just like a message.
No.
Yeah, I could see that too.
Or like a splash. You know what I mean? Like a starburst, like down at the bottom corner. Like
it's kind of cool though to think that we can go to a comic shop in April to get an issue of Invincible, which might have something new in it. It's been a while.
Yeah,
it would have to. Why would they do it? Invincible is so not relevant now. Like
I know.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
If they're thinking that it's not going to be until next year, then they would just
they wouldn't fucking do it. They wouldn't fucking do it. Dude, 100% I'm with you. 100,000%. There's going to be something on the cover or something on the inside, and I wouldn't doubt that there's like some sort of sneak peek, like Kirkman talking about it.
I mean, right now on Skybound, they have just like the cast listing. So even if it's just the cast listing,
that's what I was thinking too. It would just be that and then the cast list.
Yeah, almost like a poster with the cast listed underneath.
It would be a cool thing to have for sure if it has anything like that in it.
Yeah, that would be neat.
And it's free.
All right. Any other news topics that I'm forgetting about? Anything worth bringing up? I don't think so. So this is going to kind of segue nicely into our topic here. I think, let's first take a listen to our past selves and hear what we had to say exactly 1 year ago when we talked. We did an episode called Looking Back at 2018, and we talked all about the things that happened in 2018. And 2018 was a pretty big year. That year started with the end of Invincible and us getting Kirkman on the podcast and, action figures coming out and various things. The animated series was announced. And at the end of that year, we were like looking towards what 2019 would bring.
I remember this.
Oh man,
are you starting to remember?
We were all wrong about the.
I thought the show was going to come out like the show.
You thought it was going to be like
we've already seen
September.
the show. We've already seen the show.
And
all right,
I said early 2019. Ryan said late spring of 2019. Am I wrong?
I think
so.
he was saying.
I don't know.
Honestly,
I honestly don't think I have a clip where it might not have been on that episode where we got that specific, but we do kind of get a general range.
I did re-listen to an episode where we talked in that depth.
Yeah. So. We're gonna listen to it. We've never done something like this on the podcast before, but we're gonna be listening live So if we react, there's gonna be a lot of voices talking. So let's try to keep reactions. Be careful.
So TJ,
about...
don't just shut up. Just
you can't have long conversations, and we can't pause it once I start this.
We may need to pause.
Yeah, we're gonna stop it right now in order to set it up. So we'll be right back in a second. You won't even notice, and we're gonna be listening to our past selves. What do you guys think of 2019 going forward? This is our moment, the beginning of the year. New Year's was yesterday.
Today is January 1st.
Yep.
When we're recording.
Yep. So
we're not going to get
what
much.
What is 2019 going to be for Invincible?
I feel like I've learned in the past about making predictions.
Yeah.
And we always think we're going to get more than we're going to get. I think that we're going to get.
Thinking about what we got last year, other than the end of the series.
We're going to get some movie news. We're going to get maybe a couple castings.
You think by this time next year, in the year 2019, there will be some casting?
I think by this time next year, we will know who's playing Invincible.
This time next year would be next year. What do you mean? Like,
yeah, right.
So 2020?
Yeah, by January 1st, 2020.
Okay.
So I think that we will know.
Not this time this year.
Okay, that's what I was like, what are you talking about?
We will know. I feel like we got to come back to this episode for
That's why I'm doing it, because it's
we will know
time travel, TJ.
What season the animated series will be released, but we won't have an actual date. It'll be like fall of 2020. But we won't know like September or whatever. We won't know.
All right, well then let's categorize this. All three of us. Animated series only. What are we gonna this time next year? Where is the animated series gonna be? TJ?
We'll know. I think they're just gonna know. We're just gonna know the season of when it's gonna be released. I don't even know if we're gonna know any voice actors.
Wow.
Actually, know that. We will. We'll know some voice actors. We'll know some voice actors, and we'll know the season that is going to get released. And we'll have seen art from it.
I think that this year, I think this summer we're going to get huge news. Like, here's a trailer, and then it will be released
in the fall.
This winter.
Oh,
winter.
Bill.
So you're saying exactly what I said.
Poor Bill.
It's going to come out in 2019. I think it's coming out this year. The show.
That's not what you said. You said we were just going to release season.
Because think about it. Think about it in in terms.
Saying,
whoa, sir.
You're saying it's coming out.
God, TJ.
If you're saying it's coming out in 2019, then you're saying that we have already seen it.
What? No.
Because it's 2019 now.
Right.
1 year from now will be 2020.
Oh yeah, we'll have already seen it. We have our review posted.
So classifying that. Clarifying that.
Yeah. So think about it in terms of like Castlevania. Like when they announced that Castlevania is coming out with season 2, and then here's a trailer. It fucking came out like the next month.
So Bill, you're saying trailer this summer, released this winter.
If even that far away.
2019.
We're gonna have the animated show this year, 2019.
So I'm gonna say a little bit different than Bill. I'm gonna say bump everything Bill's saying by like 3 or 4 months. I'm gonna say trailer, announcements, New York Comic Con time frame, and a release of the series in spring of 2020. Yeah.
Okay. TJ thinks that we won't have.
No,
you'll just have a season, which could be spring.
I think we'll have a trailer. I think we'll know the voice actors, and then they'll tell us just the season.
Do we all agree that we'll probably see it in motion in some form, not just an image?
In 2019.
1,000%.
We're gonna be so wrong.
I want to time travel though, and Ryan, you can cut this out and paste it in our 2020 January episode where I say to Bill, I fucking told you. You think that we're going to see... sorry, I have to speak past tense. You thought that we were going to see the entire animated series...
Before this time.
Before, like now?
I'm confused.
It's 2020.
Are you Ray...
No way.
Are you Ray Bradbury, and are you in Slaughterhouse 51 right now, or
I don't
15?
know what any of that is.
It means that you don't know what time you're in, and you speak in past tense like dude, we just saw we watched the show. Remember we watched it together at your house on your 4K TV?
No.
A few months ago?
We didn't.
Ryan was there.
God.
Because it still hasn't... because... The reason why we didn't do that was because we just got the trailer like a couple months ago, and it was awesome, and it looks great, and it looks like we all love it, and we know who's going to be the voice actor, which is a great pick, as we all know.
That person.
But, of course, we haven't seen it yet.
No, I don't know.
Anything you want to say to future
And I
Ryan?
think the movie comes out this year too. I'm kidding.
No.
All right, let's move on to
the movie then.
the movie.
So, what do you think we'll get as far as the movie regards in 2019?
Casting news. That's it. I don't think we're gonna see any kind. We might.
I honestly don't even know we're gonna see casting news.
I think we'll get casting news. I think we will get a production date. Like they will start pre-production on this date, and
I think
that
something
kind of
like that. I think if, as far as what Kirkman was teasing or whatever, the news that's coming soon or whatever, or could be soon, is going to be like, oh yeah, we're working with this the company, blah blah blah. We're going to start pre-production or whatever production. We're going to start production, not pre-production. We're going to start production in the fall. You know what I
Pre-production
mean?
would be like casting and stuff.
That's
right?
I meant. I'm
Okay.
sorry. We're going to start production in the fall. Is like the announcement. So I guess if they're starting production, they would have to have casting though.
Right.
Shit.
So we'll have casting.
Pre-production is a part of pre-production.
That's what I'm saying.
Casting is a part of pre-production.
I know. I'm saying. I was saying that they were going to start production.
See, that's
no.
that's what you're saying is what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah,
we're gonna get casting news and then get a production start.
It's
date.
weird because in my mind, I can see them working on this movie and filming this movie easier than I can see them announcing casting. For some reason, my brain just can't comprehend. Like,
So do you think that
here's a casting announcement?
You
I
think
can't
that
imagine.
there's going to be human beings on an Invincible set?
Oh my god!
this
In 2019, that's a good question.
No fucking way.
No.
We will get pre-production. We will get maybe 1 or 2 castings this year, maximum.
Yeah.
Max.
Yeah, I agree with that. Do you think there will be people on set in 2020 for a release in 2021?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
If not, it's not
happening.
It's not happening.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. It's one of those things that we've been doing this for so long. I can't see anything happening. It's like this is our life now.
We're gonna get a trailer, and then months later we're gonna get the release of the show.
January of 2020 to the earliest.
No, that's a cop out. You can't say that.
What?
That's a cop out, and you know it is.
1 year? No, it's not. You're saying, so now you're copping out and saying, well, the beginning of 2019 is also a part of 2020 is also a part of 2019.
No.
So you're extending your bet.
No, I'm saying we're going to get the show in its entirety in 2019.
I'm saying we're not getting it in 2019, period.
I have another thing. If we're off of animated show and movie, because I think we're pretty set on our final movie predictions, is that maybe some casting. That's pretty much it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you guys think we will see Cory Walker in another comic book in 2019?
Yes.
You think Cory Walker is next?
He's working on something.
Yeah, I know. He said that he's working on something at Luca or whatever.
He is working on something entirely his own, isn't he?
We don't know what he's working on. He didn't say.
Is it a
He
collaboration?
just said it's something that people are familiar with.
Destroyer was real. Oh, I remember you saying that now. I do.
So, Destroyer was awesome.
Destroyer was fucking awesome.
I want to read that again. Do you think we'll see his thing in 2019?
Yes.
Cory Walker, yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to think so too.
Again, because Ryan Ottley finished Invincible, and within 4 months... Oh, no, we got announced... Oh, yeah, within the same year. We saw his art.
Mm-hmm. What about another Invincible action figure?
Yes.
I don't think that we're going to get
any merch
until the show is announced.
So do you think the next time we get real Invincible merch, it will be based on something
animated
else?
Show, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I think so.
I disagree. So that's one prediction.
Okay.
And I'm gonna add on to that prediction. And say it's Thrag.
Oh.
Thrag or Battle
I'm gonna
Beast.
say Battle Beast. Yeah, I was gonna say Battle Beast.
It's gonna be one of the two. I feel like Thrag
or Alan.
It's Dinosaurus.
I feel like they have to have a villain.
Yeah. But Alan makes sense. But you're right. I feel like they do need a villain. Dude, Angstrom would make an awesome action figure.
Wouldn't it make sense that
would.
Conquest?
Oh shit! It's probably Conquest.
Right? If you're gonna make a villain, you would choose Thrag. Over
I think it'd
Conquest.
be.
But Thrag, I felt like was the villain of the story.
I feel like if this figure was released during the end of all things time, it would have definitely been Thrag. But now that looking back at the series as a whole, I think it's gonna end up being Conquest.
Maybe. Conquest is the big seller. they're trying to make money, it would be Conquest.
Any other predictions for 2019? Anything else?
No.
Do you think? Anything you want to say to your future self?
Bill, I'm glad that you were right about the animated show.
Man,
I'm happy
you know how
stood
fun
your
that's going to
ground.
be when that comes out in 2020 or 2019, where we're going to get to do an episode of this podcast for each episode and talk about each one.
Yeah. This
I
year.
can't wait.
It's crazy this
not
year.
Invincible
Unless it's all
related,
dropped at
but
once.
we're going to get something Oblivion Song as well.
Ooh.
We will.
News?
No, it's going to go into other media.
Wait, that,
You think we're going to
just
have
announcement
Oblivion
of
Song?
it.
No, an announcement that it's going to be
That's what I mean,
something
news,
else.
yeah.
Fucking
knocking them
We already
dead.
know that. Kirkman...
Honestly,
hasn't Kirkman already said that?
I'm behind a few issues. I could totally see Die 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 being something else.
Nope.
Die 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 could be easily adapted into like a Lionsgate film.
Yeah.
Like it's...
But is it too similar to like a...
No.
No?
No.
God, it's so
So, like,
crazy.
yeah.
So, yeah.
TJ,
Maybe you guys should just listen to me from now on.
TJ, you knocked it out with that Oblivion Song.
Oblivion Song
prediction.
and other media, because we did find out that that it's being turned into a movie, or being adapted into a movie.
who's to say that they weren't on track to release something and then like something happened with production and it got
Well,
postponed?
earlier this year, there was that Kirkman quote saying that, oh yeah, hopefully this summer we're going to have a big marketing campaign leading up to it. I think that there was. I think that there
Yeah.
was a reason why it got pushed back.
TJ. So sorry
Which
that
is funny.
No,
Sorry. I mean,
fuck
that's
you.
no. I mean,
2019, TJ, fucking told your 2020 ass off. He let you know. You thought there was going to be casting on set of an Invincible movie in 2019.
I thought that
we
there
were
might.
talking about production dates.
I
No,
thought
that's
that
what
there
he
might
said.
be some
Yeah.
pre-production. Yeah, I thought there might be some pre-production on the movie. I thought the show would have been revealed at New York or San Diego and been out this coming spring.
I felt like,
And I
because
mean,
I felt like this for a while, and apparently for over a year now, that I feel like we're just not getting what we, like they're not doing really anything with the movie.
yeah,
They're just not.
yeah.
And I don't know
it's
what that means, but I think I was in that same state that I'm in now, where it's like, no, we're not going to get anything.
yeah.
So do you think Free Comic Book Day is more of a push for the animated show and it could be nothing for the movie, or do you think that it's actually
I
something
think it's
for the movie
100% nothing for the movie.
and all animated?
All animated series. I think they're putting all their
Agreed.
eggs in that basket and leaving the movie to Hollywood, Universal, and Seth Rogen. If they want to get off, if they want to move forward with it, they can. But
They
Skybound
need
is
more.
not. I think Skybound's just waiting on them.
Yeah.
So before we talk about 2020 and talk to our future selves of 2021, here's what actually happened in 2019. Early 2019, the voice cast leaked. Apparently, there was a weird leak that went out that said there was people in it, but then like a week later, after we recorded an episode where we were freaking out about it, the official listing came out and it had people that were on the list, but a lot of people that weren't on that leaked list. And the big one was obviously J.K. Simmons, which wasn't on that leaked list. And we got the confirmation that Stephen Yeun is Mark and J.K. Simmons is going to be Nolan, which I still think is perfect.
Yep.
Like, still thrilled with that. But then it went on to say that like Seth Rogen was going to be in it and Sandra Oh and Zazie Beetz. So otherwise, unless she was in the leaked one, I don't know. I get them mixed up. So after that, we released our only ever bonus not numbered episode. You remember what it was?
It wasn't the movie, was it? Or the video?
It was us doing a watch along.
Oh, yeah, Sky High.
We watched Sky High and released an episode where it was just, hitting play at the same time and watching it with us.
Yeah.
It's been almost a year since we've done that. I'm curious to how it works because it's been so long now that I forgot what we talked about. I kind of feel like watching Sky High and listening
With
to
ourselves.
it. With
How
ourselves.
pretentious can we be?
I'm just curious just to see how it works. You know what I mean?
I think that would almost work better if we did it live. If we did it as like a video recording, like if we had a like.
Well, yeah, you
could
have the
add it
video
up
on
up
us.
in the corner, and
You
on
can't
us.
have the movie playing because
copyright.
Yeah, so you would just be us. So you'd have us to watch it with you, and we're just next to you. Then after that, TJ went to C2E2.
Yeah.
You went to 2 cons this year or 3 in 2019?
I went to C2E2, Fan Expo Canada,
New York and
New
Niagara
York,
Falls.
and Niagara Falls. Yeah.
Damn.
Yep.
we then did our Invincible trivia, which our first ever like video like that, which was something completely new and a ton of fun. Then the next big thing that happened was Walking Dead ended, and we got to do a whole episode like talking about Walking Dead and how that kind of started us on this path and our thoughts on the final issue. Then we went to New York Comic Con, got to finally meet Robert Kirkman in person and go to the Super Dinosaur premiere and hang out with some listeners of the podcast. And then, which reminds me of something. And then we got the release of the Invincible hardcover in Italy that TJ surprised us with. We did the Holiday Mad Libs, and we've had listeners on the show, including Wyatt, who does all the music for us, or at least our outro music and the music for Oblivion Song, as well as Kelsey from Let's Talk Invincible over on Twitter. So
we also had Micah Carter on the show as well.
We did. Well, not officially. We only had him on...
it was the video.
The video for
That's
trivia.
Right. That's right. We had him on Oblivion Song.
He's never officially been on an episode of the podcast. He was on Oblivion Song. You're right. So yeah, that was 2019. I think... All right, let's start the segment. So it'll be easy for me to clip out for January 1st next year. We're starting our segment now. We're time traveling.
Should we clap?
One year from now. I'm going to say that 2019, this past year, will be known as the lull, the calm before the storm. I really think 2020 will have good things. I think that things will happen in 2020.
2020 will absolutely, this year, we will absolutely see the show. We will have movie casting news. I'm just being...
movie cast... Are you just saying the same things?
Yeah, I'm being... Yeah. The show, how can we not? Like, I mean...
My expectations are for late 2020 at this point. Because if it's going to be... If the Free Comic Book Day thing is a marketing thing, that's not till April. They're going to release... Or they're going to announce it...
When is San Diego?
That's like July.
I'm saying that the show is going to be...
Maybe shortly after...
Mid-October to mid-November. It's going to be October, November-ish. We'll see the show in 2020, I think.
I think it'd be earlier than that.
You think shortly after?
I really do.
Like how early? What do you think
said the
early?
same about 2019 when in regards to like Castlevania. You like to think that like they release it and then they they reveal it and then they release it.
Give me a month.
September.
So you're saying September and I'm saying October and November.
Okay. Well, I think November is a big difference between September.
He's leaning more towards the first. Yeah.
That's like primetime TV. That's like, you know what I mean? Like when all the big things start back up again.
You're saying like late summer. TJ's saying like mid-fall.
I would say late summer, 100%. You're saying like early winter.
Yeah, I'm thinking, again, mid-October to mid-November.
I'm preparing to be closer to TJ, but I want it to be what Bill's saying.
Yeah,
of course.
I know I want, but...
I can't be a realist in these things. Like, I just want my things to be right.
When we were younger...
A year younger?
Like, when we were like in like the CW, like when we watched like Smallville and stuff, all those shows came back on the air like first, second week of September.
Yeah.
It's not like that anymore. Most of those shows come back like the first week of October.
No, they come back. They come back and then they have a mid-season like break and then they come back.
That's how it was years ago. Yeah, they do the Christmas break.
Yeah.
I'm saying October, November.
You know September. What? To be fair, I don't really watch TV anymore.
So I think all three of us agree we'll see it in 2020.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk to ourselves after we have seen it. The next time we do this, we will have already seen it. We all agree. Do you think it's coming out weekly or all at once?
Weekly.
You think they're going to do the weekly thing?
I do.
God, I don't.
I hope so.
I don't. I don't think that. Why would they start that?
That's the way everything is going.
Where Amazon released The Boys and it was all at once, and that was the newest.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Thing that
But that's
so
where
right now,
everything is going.
By everything, you mean Mandalorian?
Well,
I mean everything on Disney Plus.
Yeah, Disney Plus.
Netflix, even before Mandalorian went weekly, even before
it didn't.
What?
Netflix never went weekly. Netflix was always.
I know that. You have to let me finish talking so that then you can respond.
Okay, go ahead.
To what I'm going to say.
Go ahead.
Okay, so. Oh, Kirkman just tweeted. Even before The Mandalorian came out, even before Disney Plus came out and said that it was going to be weekly, Netflix announced that they want, or not announced, but they said that they want to start moving in that direction. They did say that the next Stranger Things season will most likely be weekly. It's the way things are headed. That's why I think
Netflix saying this.
Netflix, yeah.
I hope so. I really do.
That's where it's
I think
go.
it'd be more fun. You know, I'd like to. I want to rewatch. Like, I want to rewatch episode 1 like 3-4 times before we get to episode 2. Because if we get them all at once, you think I'm gonna rewatch episode 2 before watching episode 3? No. Like, I want to digest, because we're just gonna be too excited to fully digest. Anything from the movie? My expectations are at no.
It's
TJ?
weird how all of our opinions change over here.
Yeah.
I mean, no.
Nothing.
No.
Fucking Seth Rogen has so many things on his
That's
IMDb.
something I cut out. I actually cut out
Like,
us talking about Seth
so
Rogen doing too much.
many fucking things, and it's like this isn't even like a focus at all. Like the last thing we knew was like he and Evan Goldberg did that I'll answer anything on Twitter. Is that right?
I thought there was something after that, but
Wasn't
yeah, it's
that-
mostly.
and they
the last
said
thing
that
he
they were
said that they
working
were
on
on the. He said we're writing that shit. We're on the 3rd draft or something.
The 3rd
Right.
or 4th draft. And
Yeah.
that was a couple months ago.
That was at least 4 months ago. Yeah. And so, I mean, the fact that exists.
But they're just
You know what I mean?
but they're just doing it in like their downtime. Like
What do
they're
you
like,
mean-
oh, I
wait,
guess
wait,
we're done.
What do you mean the fact that exists?
Like, it's just cool to me.
That a
Like,
script exists?
Yeah. Like, regardless of whether or not it
honestly,
actually
like,
happens.
it should fucking exist.
Oh no! That's not what I'm saying. Like,
In
yeah,
like
of course.
5 years.
But
shit was
to
announced.
me, I just think like, man, if it just ends up not getting made, I want to read the script.
Oh, yeah,
you
for
know,
sure.
like that'd
Yeah,
be
absolutely.
cool.
They did, what is it? Like present it to Robert Kirkman.
Oh yeah, he's worked with them about it.
And they said that it's a cool idea that they have for it.
Yeah.
So it's going to be very different.
There's something, yeah. Merch. We gonna start seeing merch again? You think that was kind of put on hold till they're gonna
The
do
show
anything? Yeah.
until the animated show.
Yeah.
I think if we all agree that the animated show is coming out this year,
Yeah.
then I 100% think that there's going to be
By San Diego, there'll be.
Yeah. You know what? Maybe there won't be new merch, but I think merchandise will be more accessible.
Yeah.
There will
You know what I
be
mean?
Like that, like the Skybound hoodie that they made, the one that TJ has like the knockoff version of. They made an official Skybound one, but only gave it to employees and like Ryan Ottley.
I think everything that we've seen so far, like that's Invincible merch, will be readily available and won't be so difficult to get.
There's going to be new merch, but it's going to be apparel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
TV show branded. You know what I mean? Like how we talked about like the action figures. Are they going to look like that, or are they going to look like the animated series, whatever that looks like?
I think it's going to be the same that...
I'm not confident that we're going to get action figures or...
Really?
I think it's going to be apparel. I think it's going to be clothing.
T-shirts, sweaters,
and I think it's going to
hats.
be just normal Invincible. I don't think it's going to be
I think
animated series.
I think we'll
branded.
probably get
Interesting.
animated show toys.
Do you
and
guys
stuff.
think that before, like, are we thinking that the next thing is going to be San Diego? I think we're kind of hoping that because we're trying to go. But do we think that they're going to do, like, TJ, I cut out a section where you talk about how it's always a random Tuesday. That's always, and we always talk about that. Do you think we're going to get another, like, small thing regarding the animated series?
Regarding animated?
Yeah. Like,
What do you
more,
mean?
like, casting or explaining who everybody is
Oh, yeah. We'd have to. We would have to.
before San Diego, what I'm saying.
Oh,
Especially if the thing...
Yes.
If the
I'm going to
April-
be actually going to go out on a limb and be really specific.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, let's hear it.
So there's San Diego Comic-Con in July. Mm-hmm. They're going to release something.
Well, we got April with the free comic book day.
Yeah. They're going to release something in June about the animated series. Something that gets us excited. Not anything specific. I'm not going to say what it is. I feel like they do that because like the announcement with again, like it was kind of leaked, so they had to release it. But that announcement of the casting was released like a month before San Diego. I feel like they don't really abide by. We're gonna wait for Con. We're gonna wait for San Diego Comic Con. We're gonna wait for New York Comic Con.
I think
that when things are ready to be released, they just fucking release it.
I think that's a really smart prediction, just because to get people excited for a Comic-Con, they make an announcement so that you know that something's coming at the con.
Yeah.
That's kind of what
To
we
keep
were.
your eye out for-
That's kind of
Not
what
only
we were
that, but,
hoping for
like,
New York. Like we
hope-
get something and then nothing happened.
Well, remember this didn't happen for New York because for whatever reason it was late. But don't they have to announce the panel? Like how early are they going to announce the panel? A month and a half? You know what I mean? Like
if it's even at San Diego Comic Con,
which would kind of be around the time that you're saying they would maybe do something like a month before.
it might not even be at San Diego Comic Con.
It might be in New York again. And this year we went to the wrong one.
That would really suck.
But that would be right because
that would be
2 years in a row
Yeah. Then I think that does it then. I mean, any other things you want to say to Bill of 2021 or TJ of 2021? Any other predictions?
Who have I become? Who am I talking to right now? Who's listening?
Yeah. We still doing this?
Listening back to that, I wonder why people even listen to us at all.
Why? That's gold.
It was funny.
That's like,
it was funny. Speaking of people listening to us,
Send us something?
Yeah, our friend Xavier, who we hung out with in New York.
New York, yeah.
He got, Skybound every now and then does those t-shirt bundles, and where you spend like $15 for 15 shirts or something crazy like that. But he got a bunch of duplicates. And so he hit me up and sent us a couple shirts.
Says, hey guys, Merry Christmas. Hope you like these extra shirts I got.
Especially because I don't have a Battle Beast shirt yet. So there's the Battle Beast shirt. Wait, Bill, don't you have this one?
No.
You don't have this?
No.
I thought you had this one.
What the fuck are you talking about? I don't.
The logo on the back is gold?
The only Invincible shirt I have two.
Really?
I have the Viltrum Empire and then the Coalition
Oh,
Space.
I'm thinking of the Viltrum Empire. There's the orange Shiva Force one.
I have that one.
Yeah,
I got that
from the
in
Mega Box.
Mega Box, yeah.
And see who's the first to tell me what this is.
That's your fucking Rock. Is that no?
No.
It's not the one?
The Rock.
The bird one?
No. Oh, no. I can see how you thought that. It is not Murder Falcon.
Okay, that's what I thought.
This is the shirt Isabel wears in Saga.
Really?
You can't picture that?
No, I can't.
Oh my god, I gotta look this up.
So it's so you guys know it's a, well, if you know what shirt she wears, it's a heart with like flames on the outside of it.
Yeah. It's the only thing she wears.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Wow, no shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah.
That was sad.
Thanks, Xavier.
That was really cool.
Very cool.
I can't wait for Saga to come back, man. I'm
TJ,
so excited.
have you fucking caught up yet?
No, I'm gonna wait until there's a release date, and then I'm gonna catch up all
That's
together.
Smart. That's smart.
And
that
then
is
just
smart.
Continue it.
But I can't believe nothing's been spoiled for you.
I bought that entire.
I'm only behind
you,
you.
Liz, and I'm gonna reread the whole thing.
Is she caught up?
No.
I don't remember.
She's not caught up.
She should catch up too.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna move into our final section-ish. We've been doing the reread for over a year now. We're rereading all of Invincible, soft cover trade paperback at a time. We are currently up to, what is this, volume 18? TJ?
17.
17.
What's happening?
What's happening?
What's happening?
And this contains issues 91 to 96. TJ, did you get to do the reading?
Yeah, I always do the reading.
You always do the reading?
Bill never does the reading.
I did the reading.
You just skimmed through it in like 5 minutes.
That's all you need.
It was like 10. I just barely finished right before we recorded, or right before we sat down to record, I should say. I
literally read it all today. Right after you and I saw Frozen 2 together.
So last issue, or last episode, and last issue ended with dinosaurs breaking Mark out of the Viltrumite ship and crash landing at his base.
Amazing fucking volume.
That was a great volume. That was a very dinosaurs heavy volume.
I hate that you're eating that right next to me. It's like a weird sausage.
It's like a pepperoni.
It's a salami.
Is that the peppercorn one?
Oh yeah,
it's really good.
Yeah. Do you want a piece?
The smell of salami is like.
No, I have a mint in my mouth, so mint and salami will not go well. So, issue 91. This starts off with Eve showing up to Thrag standing on his damaged ship, which is parked on the moon. Eve shows up looking for Mark, and Thrag says he's no longer here, and Eve decks out with this awesome
2 gigantic swords.
I love this. This is one of my favorite panels of Eve in this entire series. This cool knight armor.
Then he just starts laughing. He says, "Calm down before you find yourself impaled on a clenched fist."
Which again. So we assume that Conquest told Thrag what happened. You know,
yeah, he
showed up naked after breaking out and filled him in on everything that happened, including punching through Eve. It's just funny to think about that conversation happened, and he knows who Eve is and what happened to her. Xandil, with what's her name?
Carla.
Thank you, Bill.
See? I did do that.
It's right there on the page.
It's literally right.
It doesn't matter. I fucking read it.
We get some little bit of character development. We learn that he's cheated on her in the past,
which he almost cheated on her in the last volume. Like he was
kind of hitting on Eve. Yeah. And he apologizes, says he'll never make that mistake again.
But it like affected her because throughout this whole volume, she's very paranoid about him cheating again.
Yeah, she's concerned. We see Mark with David Anders. Mr. Anders.
Mm-hmm. That's a question I got right in the...
It's a question you got lucky on.
I got it right.
You did, because he asked... If you would have asked who what is Dinosaurus'... Yeah, no one would have gotten it.
I would have.
But you used... No, you wouldn't have. You used process of elimination.
And so...
quicker than you did.
So Mark is awake and talking to David Anders, and they're talking about how, basically, like David Anders is saying that he's glad he's not turning back into him anymore. He's a bad guy. Mark compares him to Oliver, saying that you're not evil. He says that Dinosaurus isn't a being of pure evil. He's a being of pure intelligence.
Yep.
Which is smart.
And then he goes on to tell him. Have I ever told you the production order on a comic book or how they're made? You start with the writer, usually unless it's a writer-artist situation, and they're the same guy. Or sometimes the writer and he's like trying to get him.
Which doesn't work, by the way.
It doesn't.
Because he knows what he's trying to do, so he just kind of ends the conversation.
We just find out that it's not working. But before that, we see Oliver, Alan, and Tech Jacket fighting this creature who, during our chat with Ryan Ottley on this podcast before the comic ended, like 3 years ago,
right?
This was one of the characters that he was like proud of. We asked him like, what are some of those, like, some characters he really liked? This guy and The Walking Dread. Those were his answers. So they're struggling with this guy, and Eve shows up because she's looking for Dinosaurus, which, by the way, that's what Thrag said. Thrag said Dinosaurus took Mark. So she needs help finding Dinosaurus, so she comes to Alan. And so she helps stop this creature, and they're going to go drop him off at this penitentiary.
Can we talk about how awesome...
Penitentiary.
Can we talk about...
I cannot say that word.
Penitentiary.
Penitentiary. Facility.
Penitentiary.
Can we just talk about how funny...
Penitentiary.
Penitentiary,
yes.
Penitentiary.
Yes.
You got it. He got it.
I think if I say it slow and I'm reading it, I can't do it. I can't.
Just every scene that Zach is in
is the best.
Just sheer fucking perfect. Like, he's like, it's getting in my suit, hit it.
Mm-hmm. They're talking about watching A Fistful of Dollars with his dad.
Yeah, very casually as they're fighting this thing.
Mm-hmm. He has another great moment coming up in this
yeah. Yeah, that's totally random.
Yeah, it's
never gone
him.
back to.
It's very him. Xandil and Carla are out to dinner, and he's making promises about how they're gonna, spend the night together and hang out. And then Eve shows up, and she's like, "No, I need help." Which, by the way, Xandil's tag is showing, which is an old Cory Walker thing.
It is.
If you read all the the early issues and stuff like that, Cory Walker always draws people with their tags sticking out of their shirt.
I wonder if he did that because Cory Walker is prominent in this volume.
Is this? Oh, in this volume, yeah, because this is the issue, the issue that
not in this issue.
Yeah, it leads up to that.
But yeah,
that's funny. I wonder if you're right. And so back to David Anders and Mark. David saying I don't know why it's not happening. Maybe he was just beat up so badly that he's just dead. Maybe this is it. And he's like, whatever. I'm gonna enjoy this. I hope he never comes back. And that is what triggers it. This is the last time we see David.
That's what triggers him going back as Dinosaurus.
Yeah. This is the last time we see David. And I feel like it's not brought up enough, but Mark kills Dinosaurus, thus killing David. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? He killed this guy.
Is that never touched on?
No. Yeah. It's interesting, right? Like, I mean, obviously it needed to be done, and it was one of those things. And to be fair, dinosaurs willingly did it, but it's almost like they have a relationship where he doesn't speak for him. So it's pretty crazy to think about that by killing him, he also killed David. Anyways, he transforms into dinosaurs, and he's immediately like, look around, like, where are they? Have they attacked yet? How much time do we have? Dinosaurs fills him in, saying that Thrag tried to kill you, but we escaped. And Dinosaur says he doesn't know why he tried to kill you. But before explaining too much, Bulletproof, as Invincible, busts in, starts beating up Dinosaurus, and Mark's like, why are you here? Who are you? And
what's happening?
Yeah. Eve shows up. Great moment with them together while, Bulletproof and Dinosaurus are fighting. Because this is the first time they've seen each other since Mark got sick. And so
I like how Xandal's like really walloping on Dinosaurus, and Dinosaurus just has his arm up. He's like, stop it. Yeah. Stop.
What's he doing?
Walloping.
Yeah. Like a old-timey prospector. Then, who is it? Mark goes to stop them, but Oliver comes in, and then
tackles.
Alan comes in.
Yeah.
And it's just everybody beating up on Dinosaurus, and Mark is just yelling
for them to stop. He's like, everybody stop, I can explain what's going on. And then Alan's like, yeah, let him go, and punches Dinosaurus. And then Marcus says, no, I said stop, and punches Alan in the back of the head. And then you turn to the last page of the comic, and you see that Mark's arm is just...
Look at his collarbone.
I never noticed that.
Yeah.
I've never noticed that.
So
his arm is broken.
His arm is broken in half.
Because he punched Alan in the back of the head.
With all of his might and has no powers.
So at this point,
we find out he doesn't have any powers.
Yeah. Right.
At this moment.
Look at it. So if you look up his shoulder, his collarbone is his whole arm broke back. Because he punched him with all of his might.
He's got super strength still. They say that in the next issue. He's got super strength, but no invulnerability. So think about that. Think of him punching with full super strength without the bones or the ability to...
It's like the opposite of Brit.
Because if I were to punch something like a wall or a metal wall, I wouldn't be able to do that to my arm.
Yeah.
I would need super strength to do that to my arm.
You would break your fingers first or something, but it just tore it up. And that's how the issue ends. So, 92. This is the next 5 issues, or however it is the tag team between Ryan Ottley and Corey Walker.
Yep. Corey Walker does everything in the past. Ottley does everything in the present. Mm-hmm. And these covers are actually really cool because
so cool.
The main portion of the cover is done by Ottley, but
not always though.
In the bottom, it's
not always present and past. Sometimes it's past and present. So sometimes Ottley does the small segment. Sometimes Corey does the top.
But if you see these actual pages, like the inked pages, it just shows for Ottley, it just shows his portion, and then the bottom half of the page is just blank, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. So yeah, this one starts with
Mark in the hospital.
Yep. Cecil explaining it took 11 surgeries to reconstruct your arm. You have invulnerability, or you have super strength but no invulnerability. We've been told that this could happen, and sometimes it's permanent, but not always. So, it might stay this way. But Eve assures him that it's rare for it to be permanent. While they're talking, Octobos attacks.
The return of Octobos.
I like how his ship is just crashed very awkwardly into the Pentagon.
I like to imagine, because he's an underwater boss. They live in the water. They fight the Atlanteans and all that kind of stuff. And so I like to think that that's a submarine type thing. And they figured it out, the trajectory. So they launched it out of the water, on the East Coast.
So you don't think that's actually a spaceship?
I don't think it
some
flies.
Sort of ship?
No, I think it's a submarine that they launched out of the water into the Pentagon.
That's a really interesting idea, right?
It just looks like that. Why would they land like that? It just looks like it landed
because it's
downward.
Octobos. Because he's a moron.
He's not a moron.
He's not. He's actually really
He's
smart.
really smart. He just does. It's his second language.
Wow, that's racist.
He
Why?
doesn't. Yeah, like
If someone comes to America and can't speak good English, you just think
can't
they're
speak
good
dumb.
English?
Can't speak good
Oh, you
English.
think I'm
Can't
dumb?
speak good
Think I'm
English.
dumb now?
But he says like they am source of all weapon technology, you know. But one of the Squidmen says, "Why do you insist on speaking to us with their words when you don't know their language well?" And he's like, "Practice." It's so good. But Mark goes to help, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, I can't." Eve protects them all. Cecil yells for Rex to do stuff, but he's playing video games, and he's like, "Hey, listen, I'm way ahead of you. I've already got everybody dispatched. I'm good." Just kind of showing that Rex is able to do multiple things at once, which comes up a couple times in this trade. This is also where we start to see a lot of the new Guardians of the Globe team, because this is while their series was ongoing.
We see a lot of the other teams.
Yeah, we do. Yeah,
general.
we see the other ones too. They quickly and in a really cool way dispatch Octoboss and all of the Squidmen. They do a lot of teaming up, like combo moves with each other. At one point, Robot says to Monster Girl, "Impressive work there, Monster Girl." And she says, "Yeah, where were you? Thumbs get sore, or was it hard to concentrate over your stupid video game?" And Rex says, "Help me out here. Whose side are you on today? It changes from time to time, and sometimes it's hard to keep track." And she punches him in half. And Britt freaks out, saying, "What the hell's gotten into you guys? You used to be so close. What happened?" And in such a cinematic way, it literally, the next page is like, here's
Flashback.
what happened.
Yeah.
I can really see this in the animated series. I want this to be one season where it's just a through line that's happening. You know what I mean? And you find out what's going on between them. Because every issue ends with a good beat. There's some really good story beats to it. I think when we first originally read this series, it was difficult because it was there was a lot of delays, and these issues came out so far apart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it felt a little bit slower. So we get the flashback to when Robot and Monster Girl jump through the Flaxon portal. They're the only ones that end up going through. They decide to surrender. Have we talked about before in the past how the Flaxon symbol is very reminiscent of the
I think we have, yeah.
Omni-Man symbol and
The Viltrum.
Viltrum symbol, and Viltrum symbol. So yeah, they surrender to the Flaxons. They leave them imprisoned. They believe that the Flaxons think that Robot is a machine, and Monster Girl, that is her only form, and she's some kind of beast that Robot controls.
I thought that I think it was that he was helping the robot was an assistant to the monster.
To keep it in check so it wouldn't go crazy. So they kept them together, and they decided to not show their other forms to kind of protect themselves.
I love this part.
What's that?
Where they throw in a random Flaxon to just throw him in there, and he's freaking out, and he's screaming at the backing away from the monster that is Monster Girl, and Monster Girl's like, what is this? What is this problem? And the robot's like, I think they want you to eat it.
Yeah,
they're trying to feed you.
Robot is slowly learning their language at this point too.
Yeah.
So back in the present, Mark is struggling with the fact that he couldn't do anything to help,
and he still can't.
Yeah, and he's worried he's never going to be invincible again. We see Xandal arrive back after helping fight Octoboss, and
Carla's pissed at him.
Carla's pissed because not only was he gone, but he completely forgot that his parents were coming over for dinner, and he wasn't there to help her cook, and her cooking is terrible. Because they're here now, he helps clean up the house with super speed, covers up a painting that looks
like Eve.
It's straight up Eve.
It very much Eve. A very seductive looking painting. And his parents show up, and we learn that he's
pretending to be his brother, basically. Or not, he's not pretending to be his brother, but they think that his brother is out there still being a superhero.
Tyrone,
yeah.
Yeah, they think that Tyrone is bulletproof and a surgeon, like a doctor. Curing cancer. And that, Xandal is just a artist.
Yeah.
And nothing else. And they give him shit for it. They treat him very much like he's the lesser son. And Carla insists that he should tell them, but he knows that it would
break their heart.
That it would break their heart. Yeah. Back to Rex. He's playing his video games, and Amanda shows up, apologizes for what she did, and Rex basically, like, what is it? He tells her that, you know, he doesn't really care about her apology. He came back to Earth to forget. He's moved on. He doesn't want to hear it anymore.
Yeah.
And she says, "You're serious? You really expect me to forget all of it?" And we see in the past, Monster Girl fighting as a champion in their arena, very like Thor Ragnarok, very World War Hulk. But right now, Rex is pretty good at speaking the language. It's not perfect, but he's getting there. And we learn that Monster Girl is used as like the champion for the leader, and they talk. This is where we get the reveal that they're not aging really. Like the opposite happens. Like Flaxons in our dimension age rapidly
if they don't have their bracelet thing. Yeah.
So it's the opposite for them in the Flaxon dimension. They're aging very slow. Rex says, "Haven't you noticed we've been here 4 years already? Neither of us have aged a day."
Well, she also ages. Did he fix that?
Yeah, that's why she has the belt.
But it's not working there.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not. It's not working there. She realizes that the belt isn't working.
Why do I still wear this belt? I'm clearly not growing any older. It must not be working. But no, it's because it is working. Then he says it's because we're aging so slow. We've been here for years. That's why you're not getting older. It's silly because then she would be like, he has
later on.
No, because when they come back, they're the same age. Like he's an adult.
They went there at the same age though.
Yeah, I know. But they grew up at the same time. Like, because wasn't he a kid as well?
Because with the belt working, they age at the same time. Yeah,
right, exactly.
No, we're saying the same thing.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, the belt is working. You see, he even says, no, that's not it at all. It's that they're aging so slow. She was concerned it wasn't working. And then...
You get the reveal.
The reveal in the present.
Because in the past, she says, haven't you noticed we've been here for 4 years already. Neither of us have aged a day. So there, even before turning the page, we're like, they weren't there for 4 years, were they?
Yeah, they were there for 12 months, I think they end up saying.
Oh, wait, no, you know what? That's right. They said 12 years.
No, they didn't. They said months. 7 months. They were gone for 7 months.
Yeah, because it says at the end of this. I forgot what it was, but yeah, it was
a short amount of time. They do say it at the end, and they said
so we're like,
they agreed that they should lie and say that they were only there for how many years that they aged.
Yeah.
And I thought it was 12. I thought it was 12 years. We'll get to it.
Yeah, him saying we were here for 4 years already. Yeah, and you turn the page and she's like, 700 years we lived together. And then I love this. I love this line. I knew you better than anyone on Earth has ever known anyone. I loved you more than anyone has loved anyone. And you threw that all away after one mistake. I'll never forget that. And at this point, we don't know what the mistake was. We don't know what happened.
Fuck you.
But
I'll never forget that. Like
700 years.
Because he wouldn't forgive her for a mistake. Obviously, we know what she did.
You're saying he's wrong or she's wrong?
She's wrong. She's yelling at him. I'll never forget that because you didn't forgive me.
That he threw it all away after one mistake. After 700 years and she did one thing.
Yeah, but I mean that no amount of time is like justification for something like that.
That's a personal reason.
I guess
what I mean? Like maybe it is for him. Maybe it isn't, So issue 93. A lot of time passed in the Flaxon dimension. More years have passed. Things got interesting. They were starting to revolt, and their true forms were found out. That Rex was inside the suit and everything, and they send them away to rebuild their major city. Their major city that was destroyed by Nolan when he showed up. Now, a crazy thing about this. We go on to learn about the resistance, the rebellion, and we learn about them aging and stuff like that. In issue 4, when Nolan comes back from the Flaxon dimension, he says, I spent the last 8 months enslaved by an army from an alternate dimension, although it seems much less time has passed here. About a week ago, I led a revolt against my captors and regained control of my powers. Today, a team of scientists from the rebellion found a way to get me home. We know that people age slowly. This shouldn't have been that big of a surprise.
No. The fact that
it was that long.
It was that long, yeah.
Yeah, because they did...
Right.
They did spend a long time in there, but we didn't know the full extent. So, yeah, I guess it is. But it's just cool that in issue 4, there was a not throwaway thing, but something small. And so now we get to see that Nolan destroyed their capital city, and now Rex and Amanda are being sent there to rebuild. And Rex's plan is to rebuild the city with time on their side. Since they age so slowly, they're going to rebuild the city with underground tunnels, use all the other slaves, essentially, because that's what these Flaxons are doing. They're going from dimension to dimension, including Earth, trying to enslave people to work for them because they're a militaristic race. And they're trying to get them to revolt with them, so team up with them. Also, there's Chewbacca.
I was just to say, Chewbacca's there.
And so that's their plan, and we find out that it actually works. Like, he's kind of giving this layout as it's happening. So they're building this rebellion up, built with all these former slaves that the Flaxons have captured throughout the years. And then we see in London now, in present day, the Flaxons arrive, killing the leader of the cult.
Is this the last time we see him?
This is the last time.
Yeah.
He says, if they call us a cult, if this be the cult of the truth, then I say fine, we are a cult. The cult of the sky god, the one who bestowed upon me the cap of leadership that brought us all together. And you see like the burger mart and everything.
So what this is the cult that was formed because of the garbage bag that flew out of the sky from the first issue of Mark throwing it into the air. And then issue, I want to say 18, 16?
Where he threw his cap.
Where he threw his cap up to the sky. And the cap landed in the same area that the bag did. So they thought that it was like a higher power. So they made a cult around it.
So he dead. And the Flaxons have arrived. Mark and Eve are frustrated watching on the news because Mark can't do anything about it. He's trying to get her to go, but Eve's like, I wouldn't get there in time. I'd rather stay here and help you. If this is that big of an invasion, I should be here to help protect you. Xandel has to make an excuse to his parents to go and fight, leaving them. Then we see Cecil yelling at Rex to get more of the teams out there, and he's sending the Guardians, the Capes, and everything like that. And we see the Guardians showing up to the scene in London where the Actioneers, so we see Powerplex.
Yeah, Powerplex is there.
Fighting all of the Flaxons, and Rex can't believe that it's the Flaxons. He's refusing to believe it, and Xandel's like, hey, if it shoots like a Flaxon, if it kicks like a Flaxon. We're saying that one wrong, aren't we?
We are, yeah. That was one of the ones that Kirkman corrected us on.
Flaxon?
Is it Flaxon?
I think it's Flaxon.
Flaxons. We've got a couple 2-page spreads of them attacking, which looks
This is
really
awesome, too. This is really cool spread. Both of these are.
Mm-hmm. Just the progression of the battle.
Yeah. All the detail, like them in the windows shooting and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. But it's cut short. They all get blasted by these green energy beams or whatever. And on the last page, you see this giant Flaxon thing in armor. And Rex says it can't be. Eve says, I'll call Cecil.
It ends. Before going to the next one, I did skip ahead, and it is 12 years that they lied to them about.
Okay, so they say it was 12 years. Yeah. So 94.
Because she is significantly older. I mean, she's got, she even talks about,
they were like little kids.
Like growing breastises.
94. Great cover. I love this one. Them in this kissing in front of the sunset. Eve is on her way to the Pentagon. I like that she's trying to get a hold of Cecil, but can't. She's like, no, Adam, Eve. Seriously? Mark is pissed off that he can't do anything about it. Like, this whole trade, he does, like, nothing.
Yeah, he's pissed because he's sidelined right now. He can't do anything.
What happened? This is when we see Rex trying to call in other teams. He calls in the Capes, but they're too busy fighting the Magmites. We see Wolf Corps, but they're a little tied up with...
Is it Vault?
No.
Oh, my gosh.
No.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah.
Oh, God. No, it's not Kill Cannon.
Thrill Kill?
Is it Thrill Kill?
Thrill Kill.
And Construct?
And the other one.
And the other one's like Emitter or something like that.
Oh, Eruptor.
Eruptor.
Yeah, Eruptor.
Yes. But they're busy fighting them. And then and then you see Zach, Tech Jacket, just like looking at this glowing, like, green, feminine,
weird alien thing.
And Zach's just like, so
hot.
And Rex is just like, hello, Tech Jacket? Hello? Okay, that's everyone then. There's another reference to that later, too. We see London. Everybody's passed out except Bulletproof. He wakes up, starts attacking, but then Rex comes through the portal to help him with a bunch of drones, just the various different shapes and cool different looking armors for a robot. He starts beating up Monax, even though we don't know
is Monax yet.
He's saying some pretty cool stuff too. He's like, I lived on your world more years than I've lived on mine. I know everything about you. Do they still tell stories of me? I changed civilization for the better. At least I thought I did. I worked so hard to, how could this be happening? And then we get the flashback. This is when we kind of find out about the Zaxels and the rebellion. The Zaxels are the ruling royal family class, and we learn that Rex has teamed up with the rebellion to kind of overthrow them.
This is kind of where we also, going in with that too, realize that the Flaxons aren't bad. They're not a bad race. It's literally just this royal family.
That royal family, yeah.
That has like this army that keeps trying to invade other dimensions.
Yes. Mm-hmm. They were leading them, and they were the cause for it.
Yeah.
They're getting older.
Yep.
Amanda's definitely getting older.
But it's,
this is like how they're kind of slowly taking over the world over the course of the 700 years, or however long that they're there leading up to the end.
And she keeps talking about how she can't learn the language.
Yeah.
Like
she was there for 300 years.
Yeah, she still can't figure it out. She says that it sounds that I can't even pronounce.
Yeah.
Which I think is really cool. I like that. But she still can't understand them or speak the language or whatever.
Yep, but they're still in love 300 years and still, going strong.
Mm-hmm.
Then we go back to present day and we see Craig.
Love this.
General Craig shows up.
Saves
in one shot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Saves some people from debris falling on
building. Yep.
I love this page of Bulletproof flying with Pegasus and Shapesmith. Just the way, like, Pegasus's wings and Shapesmith's
it looks
limbs.
Like they're his wings almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just something about it. Just
there's a lot of like motion and movement in it.
Like the anatomy of it. Like, just, it's so cool. It's fluid. I think that was actually one of the pages that were for sale. This might be the issue that went up this past Felix.
This issue went up a while ago.
Oh, this was that one. Yeah. Okay, never mind then. I knew it was up not too long ago because I remember looking at this page and loving it. So yeah, Amanda gets knocked out. Robot goes over to her and says, "Shake it off, Amanda, please. I still love you." And we get a scene of them making love on a cliffside overlooking the army that they've built.
You see butt crack right there.
There's some cheek.
We saw Carla's butt crack earlier too.
You see her butt crack?
Yeah.
I'll have to go back to that.
We have to go back. And we see just kind of like a flash forward in time of them like winning the war against the Zaxels and their army basically winning. And meanwhile, like this is Rex narrating, saying that he fell more and more in love with her, and he fell in love with her compassion and how she cared for everyone. And he says that he had no idea how concerned he really should have really been. And he, back in the present, he's looking down on Monster Girl and he's saying, "It was my fault. Or was it my fault? Did I fail you? I couldn't have known. If I had known, I would have changed everything." And just as Monax is about to hit him, Monster Girl catches Monax's fist, knocks his helmet off, and says to her, or she says to Robot, that she was awake the whole time, that she was just paralyzed.
And she heard everything he said.
Mm-hmm. And Monax says, "Look upon me, Rex, Robot, and Amanda, Monster Girl." He's speaking English, by the way, and he's like, "Are you surprised?" "That's right, I speak your language." "Are you surprised to see me? Surprised to see your son?" And you see his face for the first time. and it is a monster girl looking face with the antenna of a
Flaxen.
Dun, dun,
I love that
dun.
shot too. That panel at the bottom of Monster Girl like covering her mouth and the shocked look on Robot's face.
There is no shocked look on Robot's face. He knew about him.
True, but
he was looking with disdain, I'm sure.
Yeah. Issue 95. Man. Now, did we see? We didn't see.
So this is the first cover that's Corey Walker.
I'm looking for a moment with them naked on the bed. No, we didn't get there yet. So, Monster Girl saying, "How could I do this?" Or no, Robot saying, "How could you do
how
this?
Could you hide this from me?
How could you hide it from me?" Yeah. And then Monox is attacking. Robot says, "A child? You hid a child from me?" Amanda says, "It's not possible. I couldn't." And we find out that, well, they're ruling. This whole issue is a letter that all the stuff in the Flaxon dimension is narrated as a letter from Rudy, Rex, whatever, to Amanda. And he's talking about how it was great. They had each other. Everything was amazing. They were doing so well. They even had the ability to go back home, but they chose not to because this life they had so much promise.
They wanted to preserve it.
Yeah, they wanted to see it through. And the people were great, and everything was just happy with them together. But they had their disagreements. And it turns out that Amanda hated the way that
he treated
Rex
the royal family.
Yeah, that they've been slaves for like 13 years or some amount of years. Yeah. And that you're basically treating them like slaves. Yeah. And she wanted him to do something else about it.
She wanted him to let them go.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We start to see them growing more distant because Rex is so concerned with the economics of running this whole, world, basically. She finds out that he's left those Zaxel families to work in like mines. They're living in camps. And she yells at him about that, and he basically pushes her away to the point where she actually revolts at the camps to free the Zaxels, and
she kind of betrays him.
Yeah,
for what she thinks is a better cause.
He flips out on her, saying, "You've undermined my authority," and he says, "Get out of my sight," and she leaves. We find out that she actually left for years.
Yeah, 2 decades, I think.
It was decades, he says, and she shows up. And they are together in a sense, but he says that during your time you were with the Zaxels. We get a flashback to them bedside where we get the reveal that she can't bear children with him basically, and it's most likely it's because of who he is and I guess his genetics. And so he says that I know you want kids, but he wasn't able to give it to her, and. While she was away, she they get
into another fight.
No, she helps the Zaxel family empire, Zol and Zal, the twin heirs to them, overthrow Rex, and she betrays him. She turns into monster form and attacks Rex.
Mm-hmm. Crazy.
Yeah. Then. Yeah, this is when we find out that Zal, the leader of the Zaxels, and her make love, and she ends up sleeping with her in her monster form.
Who is a boy.
Yep.
Monster girl is actually a boy.
Yep.
In monster form.
And we see now Rex writing this letter, talking about how he says, "I'm writing to tell you that I was wrong. I lost my way. I never saw it until I was taken away. But being the emperor, that power, as they say, corrupted me. I wasn't thinking clearly. Listening to you, I really should have. If I could talk to you again, or maybe this letter, for whatever reason, I forgive you." He basically says, "I forgive you." And he crumples up the letter and throws it away. Just as Monster Girl barges in and says, "Nope, the Zaxels are bad after all. We should have stopped them. I was wrong," which feels a little funny.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy about that because it's so deep. Like, there's a lot there.
It just keeps going back and forth.
And then it's like, nope, they're wrong. Sorry.
It seemed like there needed to be a reason for her to disagree with Rex, and
Yeah.
Well, it's their nature. Well, not their.
She put trust in people.
Not the Flaxen nature, but the royal family.
Zaxels.
Like, all they want to do is rule other dimensions.
Such an in-depth story that happened.
She thought that they there were several generations. They were the grandchildren of the Zaxels that ruled. She thought that, hey, we should show these people compassion. That just because their great grandparents were terrible doesn't mean they are. So we should show them compassion. Well, it turns out maybe with this species, they are
also
still
have to accept the fact that this whole thing was over the course of 700 years too.
Exactly. So. Yeah. So I think there was probably a good chunk that happened in between that in what happened there.
Yeah.
So she.
They reconcile.
They
Rex
reconcile.
says, I made mistakes too, but then she's like, no, you don't understand. I made such a big mistake.
Yeah.
And it shows the one royal...
Yeah, Zol, whatever.
Yep,
you see her pregnant. And she, knowing that she couldn't have kids, like everything she says from here on out is so good. Like, her saying, I abandoned you. I had no idea. I didn't know. If I had known, my time with Zol, I had resulted in, I never would have left. I would have raised you. I would have, oh God. And then Monax is saying, yeah, pretend to care. And they go on fighting. And Amanda's just like, how could I? So yeah, they continue fighting Monax. And this issue ends with Britt helping Rex up off the ground, Robot, saying, on your feet, soldier. Let's finish this. And let's do the same with the final issue of this trade. This is 96, another really cool cover. I like the coloring on it. And this one starts with Amanda revealing to Rex, telling him the truth, saying, I didn't love her. I was just so lonely. You were never there for me, and I wasn't doing it to hurt you.
This is in the past.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I'm so sorry. And she says, can you ever forgive me? Please say something. You can hate me or something. Just say it. And he doesn't say anything. Away. He just walks away. He later shows up, says that he's chosen a successor and that they decided to leave. All that remains are painful memories, and he just wants to go home. So he said he'll make the preparations.
Now that we know what she was talking about, and we went through it, you still think what you think?
So what is it? It's the fact that Amanda
was mad
that he doesn't forgive her for this.
Yeah, but she was screaming at him, and Rex has just been indifferent the whole time. Like, he literally just ignores her. Like, he ignores what she's doing, who she's talking to.
Which to me seems silly.
It doesn't
700 years, and you're just going to ignore me? Like, what we've been through has been unfathomable. Yeah. And now you're just going to not talk to me after this thing?
I mean, Rex is
She slept with someone. She didn't know she had a kid at that point. She slept with someone else.
It's not even regardless whether or not there was a child involved.
Yeah.
Rex is a very uniquely minded person. Like, he fell in love with someone when he's not a compassionate person, and this person who he fell in love with betrayed him on so many levels. Not just with helping the rebellion that they helped create, but also actually cheating on him. So imagine him, the smartest person of fucking live, putting emotion first and then having it blow up in his face.
Yeah. The fact that it's debatable and it's a gray area is what makes Invincible. This is
right.
Neither of us are right or wrong. That's just.
I mean, he even says that he loves her still.
Yeah.
He confessed it. And
do you think that decision, that one thing, is what led to
100%
everything that happens with Robot in the future of this series?
Oh, he talks about how his ruling Flaxen.
So it's more of that and less of Amanda.
Less Amanda.
Okay, it's more of the ruling.
I agree. I don't think it was that specifically.
I agree too. Just bring it up.
You're not crazy for thinking that, and I think that if we delve into
his psyche
more, then we probably could make some connections. But
this is when Rex says, I think it's best we say we've only been gone for 12 years. That's how old it looks like we've grown. Bringing up the truth would raise too many questions. And then a Flaxon comes in, and he's speaking a different language. Rex says, excuse me a moment. And then they joke about, is this what I wear? And this looks weird. And they joke about what they're wearing, and then they show up in the meeting, just like we see in Guarding the Globe. And we're back in the present.
We know what that Flaxon says to him.
Yes, we do. Later this issue. Yep. This issue starts with, it's cool, Robot throwing down those gauntlets he's been using. he's saying, "Attention, Guardians, we have isolated the Flaxen commander. Now's the time to put this to an end. Here's what I need from all of you." And he goes through and gives like each team member like directions, and it's just a really great like cinematic moment, seeing all the heroes doing different things. And Monster Girl, I believe, puts a stop to Monax, puts him in a chokehold, gets him on the ground, and they're basically saying like, "Hey, hate to break it to you, but it's over. It's done. You're an embarrassment." Monax says, "It's not over. It can't be. Not like this. Not after everything you've done, you monster." Looking at Rex, but talking to Monster Girl, she says, "Shut up." And she says, I'm sorry, just please take him away." And Rex looks to Britt and says, "She's his father." Britt looks at him and he's like, "It's complicated." A very Britt kind of moment.
Like, above?
Yeah.
Just like that, though.
Mm-hmm. Xandal shows up. He's walking in the door to Carla and talking out loud, saying, "That was a tough one. The fracture isn't too bad, so don't worry. It should be healed in a week or so, and it gives a good reason to avoid my parents. It would be a pretty tough sell that I broke my arm while setting up a gallery show." And she's like, she's like, "Yeah,
they're right behind me, aren't they?" There's one right behind
and
me.
And Xandal's mom says, "I don't understand. Your brother was fighting those aliens, not you. How could you break your..." And he says, "Oh boy." Find out more about that next time. But we see Mark, finally, Mark Grayson.
Invincible
main character
of the comic,
this comic, the titular Invincible. He's yelling at Alan and Oliver about, like, where the hell were you guys? London was nearly leveled. Oliver says, "Tech Jacket met this alien, and she invited us back to her mothership. We weren't that far away, but we were out of communication." So that's where they were. They were with Zach in that freaking mothership. So yeah, they actually say they're leaving, and that they weren't actually on call here. That there's a lot that Alan is needed back on Telestria, and Oliver asks for a moment alone with Mark to speak with him, and he apologizes. I
have this page.
This one right here, him crying?
With page. Alan sitting on the roof.
Oh, yeah, I love that one with Alan sitting on the roof. That's a great panel. Oliver apologizes for what happened with the Scourge virus, which I like this. He says, "You could have died. You almost did, and it would have been my fault. I would have killed you. I should never have brought the Scourge virus here. I was only thinking about the greater good. If losing someone close to you, if this is what it feels like, to have a loved one die, maybe I was wrong about the whole thing." Which is a great kind of culmination in his story. He learned something.
It's a conclusion to
because
that.
This is pretty much an end to Oliver. We see him a little bit when Mark goes to live there, and then at the very end, briefly.
Yeah.
So that like pretty much wraps up Oliver, I want to say, unless I'm forgetting something. But,
I mean,
when it comes to his story and his growth, yes, but we see him more, obviously. But
we see him as like uncle to Tara and stuff.
That's what I mean. It's pretty. Yeah. You're right. During the Cory Walker era, this is it for like young Oliver.
This is the end. This is the end of him being indifferent about humans and and about life arc. And stuff. Yeah.
Eve shows up just in time for them to leave. I love these three panels, just the comedic timing of it. She says, "You want to fool around?" He says, "It really won't be the same without my powers, but yes." Thrag.
This is important.
Yeah, Thrag gives Craig some shit about helping.
Yeah. I told you to live among them, and he wanted him to live among them and procreate, and plant his seed.
And he's like, I am. I'm sorry, but there's a woman there who carries my child.
And he tells him that, I mean, you have children. With many different.
He says you have nearly a dozen
across this world, and yet still, you intervened.
And he's like, "Yeah, I know, Grand Regent Thrag, I know, and I love them all."
And Thrag's face.
Yeah. Which is just it's just one page. But there's a payoff.
So much.
There's a payoff.
Yeah, remember the last issue? It shows him with all of his wives and stuff. He's like, okay. All
right, so here's the deal. Mark and Eve talk about how the sex was different because he doesn't have his powers, and he's like,
he's more emotional.
Yeah, and he's like he's asking like, was it okay? Like, you don't have to sugarcoat it. And she basically says like, yeah, I mean, it was okay. And he's like, oh, okay. I knew it was different. And he's like, I don't want to talk about it. And so they kind of both complain about themselves, and it's just a good, genuine moment between them. And he talks about how he really hopes this whole thing is temporary, and she misunderstands. He's like, no, my powers, not us. And he says, I need you to help me with something. I need you to check on Dinosaurus. It's been too long. It concerns me. And we see Dinosaurus working away on something, which I think we know what that is.
Yeah, it's the flooding device.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, there's okay. Yeah, because you see the thing up there. I thought it was like the cloning machine or something.
No, I take that as it's the big bomb or something like that.
He's working on one of the bombs?
Yeah.
Amanda and Rex go to see Monax. He says, I have nothing to say to you. Leave me. And yeah, she says, I knew your mother only briefly to him, but she says that if I had known, I didn't even know it was possible for my monster form. If I had known, I would never have left you. Yeah, he says to leave. She thanks Rex for doing this. Rex says, I don't want you to ever have to do anything alone ever again. Rex says, what happened? All of it. It was my fault. I drove us to the Flaxon dimension. I took power willingly and kept us there. You didn't even though you didn't belong. I let the power corrupt me because of who I became, and I forgive you. I wasn't myself, and I haven't been for a while. And Amanda, I don't ever want to be that person again. And she takes his hand, and they kiss. And then we see a flashback. And this is how the issue ends. It's the same scene of them talking, and when him saying that, it's best if we only say we've aged for 12 years, and a Flaxon comes in, but now we get the subtitles.
You see the translation.
Mm-hmm. He says that we have located the Zaxel rebel leaders, sire. It appears the female is with a child. And he says to them that, so it's true, she somehow procreated with one of them. I can't even, how could she? It doesn't matter. He wants the entire bloodline erased. All Zaxel royals are to be executed, including the one that's within that traitorous Zaxel belly.
So that's what Monax was talking about when he called Rex a monster.
Yeah, because he ordered the execution of his entire family,
including a child, like an unborn
baby. Well, it would
baby.
be him.
Does he know that though?
Yeah.
Does he know that?
Yeah,
it was him that.
Why does he hate Rex?
That's why. He knows that. Doesn't he? I'm almost positive.
I mean, why doesn't he bring it up then later on? He doesn't talk about it. Because, I mean, spoiler alert, but he kind of goes good.
Yeah. I don't know if it's ever revealed that, like this twist that Rex knew all along, if that's ever revealed to Amanda. So maybe Monax didn't know. Maybe Monax just hates him because what he did to the Zaxel family, which is enslave them and treat them as slaves for hundreds of years.
I think that's what it was.
That works too. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, so Rex is a
bad guy.
Kind of a bad guy.
He's a bad guy.
Duh.
So yeah, next issue or next month we're talking volume 18, The Death of Everyone.
More dinosaurs.
Including dinosaurs.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Issue 99.
Oh yeah,
that's a fucking good one.
All splash pages. Yeah. So that does it for this episode. Do we want to talk very quickly about just talking quickly, basic impressions of Star Wars?
I enjoyed it.
Rise of Skywalker.
I understand why people like it, but I'm one of the ones that just I don't enjoy this new trilogy at all, and this last one was the nail in the coffin for me.
Yeah.
So
I'm with TJ. I enjoyed it. It definitely had issues, and the more you definitely had shoes. There were shoes. There were many shoes. It's one of those things. The more you think about it, the more it just doesn't make sense, and the more plot holes that appear. But it was dumb fun, and I liked it. It had some really good moments.
I don't even want to get into it. I think if it didn't have the name Star Wars on it, you wouldn't say that about a movie. You wouldn't.
Maybe.
And that's what bothers me.
Yeah. I don't think that's true.
I do.
TJ and I saw Frozen 2 today.
Yep.
It was the second time I saw it. I love that movie. It's just so good. TJ thought it was okay.
I thought it was okay. I only saw the first one time. Mm-hmm. I'm probably not going to rewatch the second one again. I mean, maybe. I know you want me to rewatch both of them again to catch more, but like even going into the movie, I asked our friend Matt who works at the theater, and then I asked you before we started too, because I needed like a recap of the first one because I forgot. And then when I sat down with you and you were like, "Oh, what this happened, I'm like, "Fuck!" Like I do not remember the first one as well as I thought I did.
Elsa just shoots ice out of her hands.
No, there was a lot more than I needed to know going into this movie. That Ryan told me that I forgot.
Well, Olaf gives you the recap.
I forgot that Olaf was made by Elsa. I forgot
I thoroughly enjoyed The Mandalorian. I think there were 2 very random weak episodes in the middle.
Three very.
The one isn't that bad, especially because it ties back into
bad.
it. I think the one with the village was fine.
Ugh.
It was fine.
Ugh.
It wasn't great, but it was fine, especially because it ties in. It actually had meaning. You can't skip that one if you're showing someone the show.
Yes, you can.
You can skip the 2 after. No, because you have to introduce what's her name.
So what? She's a character.
Yeah.
That's not what a filler episode is. A filler episode still has ongoing story. It's just so minimal.
Yeah.
Those 3 didn't have any story.
Yeah. The highs were so high. The lows were pretty low. But man, those like the first 3-ish and the last 3-ish.
Oh my god, I loved
incredible.
The second episode, in my opinion.
The third one was the one where he goes back to get him and he's going through fighting all the stormtroopers.
Yeah, that one was good.
Oh, it was so good.
No. I loved him chasing down the Jawas.
Oh yeah, that was a lot of fun.
And
give too much away.
That was so much fun.
Still kind of coming out in other areas, but
okay.
But it's all right.
But I think for a Star Wars show, for a live-action Star Wars show, they clearly had a general idea, but not enough, like... They're like, we need, like, at least 2 more episodes here.
Why can't it have just been 5 episodes?
I don't know, man. Or...
Either way, I'm stoked for Season 2. I think they will have learned some stuff, and I know what to expect going in, so I'm very excited for that. Speaking of Star Wars, I'm about a couple hours into Fallen Order, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
I'm probably a little bit ahead of you.
Yeah, so I'm really enjoying
I thought you
that.
beat it.
No, because I stopped playing it for like 2 days.
Yeah, I'm at that point now. I played it 2 days ago, and now I got to go back, and I'm scared.
Yeah, dude, I was like, fuck, because I kept dying. Like...
I played for one day, like it was like last Sunday or whatever, and I played for one day for like 4 or 5 hours, and now I'm gonna have to go back to it, and I'm like, I don't even remember how to play.
I feel like once you get like
the rhythm,
it's addicting.
Yeah, it is addicting. But I stopped.
Anytime there's like a few stormtroopers, let's go. Like I love walking into that. It's hard for me coming off of Assassin's Creed that there's no crouch button because I want to kind of creep up. But now that I know like how this game works, I see them. I'm like, all right, here we go, and I walk in, pull out my lightsaber, and just like
it may be different for you guys than it was for me, but for me, like a boss would show up, and I'd be like, oh, cool, like a boss fight.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't really dread that, but like certain characters would show up like special stormtroopers,
the black stormtroopers with the glowy fuck those assholes.
It's so hard.
Fuck them.
And like they would show up, like one would show up, and I'd be like, fuck, this is gonna be the next 15 minutes.
There was one of those with the other shock troopers with a bunch of other guys shooting at you, and I'm like, I'm just gonna fucking...
The last time I fought one of them, it was so funny. I was literally like, my health was like flashing, like it was just one more hit, and I just managed to get it off. It was so...
Once you get force pull, did you get force pull yet?
Don't say things.
That changes the game. It changes the game substantially.
No, I just got pushed.
Yeah. Obviously you're gonna get pulled.
Yeah.
But
that was
once you get it, it literally you go, okay.
Yeah.
Now I can play the game.
It feels very satisfying. Like it's a satisfying
Once you get pulled, you're like, okay, now I can play.
I have not I really hope by the next time we record, I will be able to give my thoughts on The Witcher and Watchmen. Both of those shows are huge shows that I need to watch.
I still have I have HBO. Like, I have it, and I don't know why.
Apparently, it's incredible.
I don't know why I don't want to watch it. I don't know why.
I think you need to.
I have zero motivation to watch that movie.
Maybe after I start
You're talking about Watchmen.
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe after I start it and I say, Bill, like
TJ, you've seen it, haven't you? And you said that it's like the greatest thing ever.
No, like 2 episodes left. I've been bouncing between shows.
IGN?
Mandalorian.
Yeah, I know.
I'm still watching Hell's Kitchen.
Dude, there's so many
I am
shows.
too. Me and Liz started an old
Why are you
season.
guys watching Hell's Kitchen?
It's so
really
good.
random.
Honestly, Ryan, like especially you and Katie, you should watch it.
I can't even watch the shows
fun.
I want to watch. I'm not going to start Hell's Kitchen.
It's so good.
Me and Liz watch Hell's Kitchen when it comes out. It's the one show that we really watch on like network TV.
Yeah.
Literally the only show that we watch, and it's been so long since the last season, so we're like, fuck it, let's just go back. And we started watching past seasons.
So I started watching it like maybe a month and a half ago, like mid-November-ish. Mm-hmm. Along with watching Watchmen and like all these other shows that we just talked about, I just started my like 6th season of Hell's Kitchen. Yeah. Like I'm watching the shit out of it.
It's all the same. It's all the same. There's always scallops and fucking like beef Wellington and risotto. Like it's always the same shit, but
it's the same menu.
It's funny because I haven't heard anybody else talk about it the way you guys talk. Everybody talks about Great British Bake Off. But no, I don't ever hear anybody talk about Hell's Kitchen.
I don't know why Hell's Kitchen is just.
That's funny.
Addictive.
It's like it really is so addictive.
It's because when they fucking finish the service for the first time, you're like, yes.
Yeah. Do you want to? If you can be quick, we could talk about it after we're done recording. If you want to be quick,
we can just do quick impressions. We can just do quick impressions.
I like it.
Okay.
It's good.
Again, I haven't seen it yet.
Did you finish it?
It like the good parts are fucking good. But Bill, the bad parts are fucking terrible. Like, terrible. And
you can get specific later.
And I'm surprised. Well, you made a comment about Star Wars. You said we wouldn't be saying this if the name Star Wars wasn't on it. Mm-hmm. If the name Witcher wasn't on it, you would fucking hate the show.
That's not true.
It is everything you hate. It is everything you hate.
All right. We'll debate this more off air.
Yeah.
Because I am curious.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I think that it fills a Game of Thrones hole, kind of. But what it does differently is that it goes all in on the magic and the fantasy.
It also straight up rips off Game of Thrones.
Well, considering that it's a series of novels
it's
as
based
well
off the books.
From fucking Poland.
It's based off the books.
Right.
Yeah.
Specifically. That came out.
Right.
After
Well,
Game of Thrones.
this first season is based off of the prequels.
Maybe. I don't know the answer to that. I just know they're both old.
Yeah.
That's like saying fucking Hunger Games ripped off Battle Royale.
It did.
No, it didn't. She apparently wasn't allowed to read it while she was writing it. That's what her publicist said.
But it did.
Right, it did. But it's a
just
similar
idea.
fucking thing. Yeah,
similar idea.
it's fantasy.
There's
fucking
a ton of fantasy.
Lord of the Rings.
No,
I'm not talking
about the lore. I'm not talking about that. There's tons of, like you said, there's Lord of the Rings. Like I don't think that but there's specific things that like are straight up.
Talk about it after. Curse of the White Knight, still one of the best comics I've ever read.
Are you caught up?
No.
You suck,
TJ.
dude.
Oh,
you're an asshole.
I'm reading other things.
What else are you reading, TJ?
Middle West is great.
I gotta read that.
Yes, you do.
Riker finished it.
Did he?
Yeah.
Really?
He finished it.
I got it for him for Christmas.
So he got it for TJ.
This is funny. This is funny. Let me tell.
Is it age appropriate?
Please don't forget. Please, do you remember how it happened?
Yeah.
How he came out of his room?
Okay,
go ahead.
So just go ahead and
tell
it. You just told it.
No, go ahead.
What do you say when he came out of his room?
Tell the whole story.
I gave him the present, and I told him, I was like, this is awesome. I've been reading it ever since it came out a year ago. And he's like, oh, cool. It's something he's never seen before. It's not based on anything. It's not. He's like, okay, awesome. And he's like, can I? And he asked, he's like, well, Bill was like, all right, it's time to go to bed. And he's like, can I stay up and read my graphic novel? And he said yes. And then like maybe 20 minutes goes by, and Riker comes out of his room and he goes, Dad,
oh no,
is it okay for me to be reading this with all the really bad language? And I'm like, has bad language? Like when I read it, like I don't think about it when I read it. You know what I mean? Like I read
is it just language or is there anything else in it?
No.
From what I read, there's language and like gore. Like there's.
I don't even think there's really bad gore.
Well, it's not like.
Wow, this is funny.
But yeah, as soon as he said that, I'm like, there's not a lot of swearing in it. There really isn't. But the first scene is like a dad yelling at his son.
It's like a drunken dad.
Yeah, it's a drunken dad, and he's like saying like,
wow.
He's like, fuck you. Like, shut
up. Oh my God.
Your mother left because of this and that and that and that.
So,
TJ got the story wrong. It wasn't 20 minutes. It was about 5 minutes.
Oh,
yeah, it was about like it's so funny. I love the way my house is set up because like we're downstairs and you can hear the door open up. Ka-dunk. And he's like, and he's standing at the top of the stairs with the graphic novel in his hands, like, are you sure I should be reading this?
This is gonna be one of those things that, like, if you and I were, if the three of us were to sit around and talk about, like, what's the first rated R movie you saw? What's this? Like those early coming of age things. Rikers is gonna be Middle West. He's gonna have one of those memories
that he's read. He's seen.
How old is he now?
Before. He's gonna be 9.
9.
He's gonna be 9 in
February.
So how many years till he can read Invincible?
He can read Invincible
He
now.
can read Invincible. I thought about getting
Invincible. Way worse than what you're describing.
Oh yeah, it is worse.
Yeah.
But
you just read about sex a couple times in this.
I'm not worried about that kind of sex. I'm worried about like the rape stuff.
Yeah.
With Anissa.
Yeah.
That's too much.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, I draw the line at sex.
Yeah.
I know that's a weird thing.
Not gore.
Like, Riker was watching The Witcher with me and Liz, like, one scene, and I was like, this is okay. Like, there's just, like, swords and blood and stuff like that. And then there was a part that Geralt and Jaskier walk into a room, and it shows their faces, and I was like, and I paused it, and I'm like, Riker, you should probably go upstairs, because I feel like there's a lot of naked people in that room.
Your radar was going off?
Yeah, my radar was going off, and then he turns around, and it was just like boobs everywhere, and I was like, yeah, good thing you're not watching this anymore.
So a couple years maybe?
Yeah. I feel like the first movie that I saw that was bad, he's in 3rd grade right now.
Okay.
I remember watching Species. Do you remember that movie?
Yes.
Where she's got like boobs and her nipples, like tentacles come out of them and wrap around a guy's neck. I saw that way too early.
Yeah.
Way too early. But
you have the control now.
But
you can make it so that
I'm not my father at all. No, that was bad.
All right. Anything else we want to talk about that we've been watching, reading, checking out lately? There's so much.
Yeah, I feel like
there has been a lot.
Yeah.
Just because it's Christmas, like, so I got stuff.
I know. There's so much. But we've talked a lot.
Oh, I played Luigi's Mansion 3 on the Switch. It's so much fun.
I've been playing Crash Team Racing religiously, and it's like everything I remember.
I'm working on the Messenger on Switch, which is a ton of fun.
Did anybody get Game of the Year? The
Control?
No, that was
the other one.
Sirico. Someone dies twice, 2 times.
Yeah. Sirico.
No one's played that. No one's invested. I don't know if I want to. Maybe after playing Jedi, because I feel like this is like a middle ground between really hard game, and I'm glad it's difficult.
Yeah, no, I'm glad it's difficult.
I'm used to Force Unleashed, where you just go in and you just fucking hack and slash everything.
I watched all of Lost in Space Season 2. Fucking amazing. Yeah. Like, it is the show. It is that kind of show that we all fucking love.
That's weird, because The Witcher is the highest rated show on Netflix right now. It's even more popular than Stranger Things. More watched.
It's not more watched.
I love the.
No, it's not. I saw the same article you did. And
that's what it said.
I love the statistic that, like, there are more people playing The Witcher after the show came out than when it first came out. So like, that's insane.
Let me go back to saying that when I stopped playing Jedi, I started playing Witcher 3 again. Yeah. I had to once I finished The Witcher, I was like, I need more.
That's what happened. I bet. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna wrap this up. Thank you all for listening. Now, we got to talk a little bit about Wyatt. So, like I said earlier, this year we had Wyatt Layne on the podcast to talk about how he got into Invincible and his music and everything. And he's been doing the outro music for us for well over a year now. And he does the thing where the first Friday of every month, also when we release a new episode of this show, he releases a new song. And at the end of the year, he compiles them all into a new album. So that has happened. For the second time, he's done a full year of a new song. So he's got Reach Out, which is now available for purchase on Apple Music and wherever else you could buy things. You can find his music over on SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, like I said, Apple Music.
So he has 2 albums out now?
So he has 2 albums out now.
And his first album is really, really good.
Forward, Forward was his first one, and now this one's Reach Out. And so, check it out. Go give him a listen. This episode...
Reach out. What movie, Ryan?
Burtonly. It's a name. I can't remember his name.
He's in a penitentiary.
No, it's shit. What's his name?
Charlie.
Why don't I say Charles Barkley?
It's Charlie Bartlett.
Yeah. Such a good movie. Such a cast too.
It is such a good movie.
But anyways, this song is called "Unresolved" by Wyatt Layne. Go check him out. Thank you all for listening to this episode, and this is gonna be a good year. I have a really good feeling about 2020. I'm excited.
I had a really good feeling about 2029 or 2019.
Really? 2019 was the worst.
Yeah.
All right.
I feel like 2019 was actually a decent year for me.
Really?
I feel I'm kind
We're
of
talking about
dreading...
Invincible.
No. Oh yeah. Okay.
Well, no.
Yeah.
I was kind of giving it in general, but I have a good feeling about 2020 now.
I don't.
Really?
I don't know. I got a bad feeling.
God!
I always have a bad feeling.
End the podcast.
I always have a bad. I am such a pessimist though. Like I always think like doom and gloom.
That's why you're so good at these fucking predictions, because you're like, nothing's gonna happen and we're not gonna get any news.
No,
and you're right. And I'm like, no, there's gonna be sunshine and lollipops and we're gonna get it right away.
Well, on that note, hopefully I'll be playing this clip a year from now. Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Dude, welcome to my hell. Like, for the last month, it's just been that in my head.
Yeah, Liz was nice enough to put it on in the bathroom when she was giving Remy a bath.
And now it's back?
Mm-hmm.